Hi everybody, and welcome to our Changes in Matter lab. This time around we are going to be melting things. So before you do anything, get adults to help you with this. We don't want anybody getting injured. So here's what you need for this lab. You need a pot holder to hold hot things. You need some paper towels in order to cover some bowls. You need a microwave. You need baker's chocolate. This is the kind of baker's chocolate I got. You can use ordinary chocolate, but baker's chocolate melts more evenly, so that's what you wanted to use. You need vegetable shortening or ghee. I used ghee, okay? You need butter. This is the butter that I'm using. And you needed gummy treats. This is what I found, okay? So, what you're doing in this is you're going to be weighing each one of these. So you'll see I have all these bowls right here. These are microwave safe bowls. They can go into a microwave and not melt. And what I have measured out in each of these is 30 grams of each. You'll see on this chart, I've already put down 30 grams for each of these, okay? So what you want to do, if you have a kitchen scale, then you can do this part of the lab. If you don't have a kitchen scale, don't buy a kitchen scale. To repeat, don't buy a kitchen scale. You don't have to do that. All right, I'm going to provide the data for everybody from my experiment that I'm doing right now at the end of the lab. If you don't have a kitchen scale, you can use my data, okay? All right. So in order to use a kitchen scale, and since I'm going to do this so that you guys have the data, I have my kitchen scale with a digital readout, and then you'll see it's got a little G right there. That means it's measuring it in grams. So what I would do is I would take an empty bowl, and you see how that measures 393 grams? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tare it. Not tear it like I would tear a piece of paper. Tare, T-A-R-E, and that means I'm going to hit 0. And that's going to weigh it in at 0 on there. So I have this bowl, and I'm going to take my chocolate, and I'm going to put my chocolate into it. You see how the weight is going up there? And it's going up, and yeah, it's a little bit too much. So I'll just take this down a little bit and kind of figure out what pieces work. There you go. So this is 30 grams of chocolate right here. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do this for all these different ones. And hopefully my weights come out relatively the same, as close to 30 grams as possible. And if they're not, I'll just fix them, because I want to make sure they're all 30 grams. These, as it turns out, are 29 grams. So I'll make sure I fix those before I do any melting. But I want to show you the melting part so that you can understand. So I've got my 30 grams right there. I've got my chocolate, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it in the microwave, and then I'm going to take a paper towel, and I'm going to put it over the top of this, right, like that. That's in case anything gets explodey. Well, then it won't get your microwave dirty. All right, then I'm going to close it, and what I'm going to do here is I understand that it takes different amounts of time to melt different things. So I'm going to heat it for 30 seconds and then check, and 30 seconds and check, and 30 seconds and check. Okay, so I pulled my chocolate out, and as you can see, it's melted. And I'm gonna very quickly, and I probably shouldn't have done that, I want to take my pot holder, and I want to take it over here, and I'm going to put it right on my scale. Okay, so remembering that these bowls weigh the same, I'll just go ahead and tear this to that, and then put it right there. There. So there you have it. It is 30 grams. Okay, so nothing changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write 30 grams right there. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to do this for the rest of these substances. Okay, so I can do this for my gummy bears. Okay, the gummy bears appear ready to go after only 30 seconds. You can see that, that's a liquid. I'm gonna put them on here. And I am at 28 grams. It looks like I lost a couple grams on my gummy bears. And then you might wonder what I'm doing here is I'm just taking them and I'm setting them to the side. Okay, the chocolate can go here, the gummy bears will go here. And I'm letting them cool because what I'm going to do last is I'm going to weigh how much they are after they become solid again. Let's go ahead and do the butter this time. Okay, so here's our butter, and you'll see that's a liquid right here, and it's down to 27 grams. Okay, see what happened there. Set this aside, and now we'll try with our ghee. Okay, here's our ghee, and get out my pot holder. This one took a little bit over a minute to melt, but you see that's a liquid now. And that one is 28 grams as well. Okay, so it looked like a couple of these, or 3 of them, lost a little bit of weight. I wonder, and I'm looking at all of these, I wonder what happened to all of them. What happened to that extra weight? Okay, so what I've done here in order to make these become solid again is I've put them in the refrigerator. This shouldn't take too long for them to solidify. While they're doing this, I'm thinking about the phase change they're going through. They're going from liquid to a solid. Remember, when they went from a solid to a liquid, that was a phase change known as melting. This phase change is known as solidification, and that's what's happening when a liquid goes back into a solid. If I froze it and I made it really cold, that of course would be a phase change known as freezing. So I'm just going to wait patiently until these are hard again. Okay, so now is the moment of truth for at least 2 of those. Currently the butter and the ghee are still cooling. It might take quite a while to do that, but for right now, what I'll do is I'll show you what happened with the gummy bears and the chocolate. As you can see, the gummy bears are not moving. Those are solid. And so are the chocolate. That's solid too. So let's go ahead and give this a try here. Okay. Gummy bears came out at 27 grams. And the chocolate came out at 30 grams. Okay. So it looks like the gummy candy even went down a little bit more. And the chocolate stayed about the same. I wonder why. So what we'll need in the future is we'll need to get the shortening done. and the butter done. You can tell those on my results that'll be showing up really quickly. Here's what you need to be getting finished. You need to make sure that you get your table done. Mark down your observations. Did anything happen wrong? Did anything happen right? One thing that I noticed was that a little bit of butter got on that paper towel because it got a little bit too hot. That probably affected my results right there. Then you have to graph what you found. Okay, so for example, I have 30 grams, 30 grams, 30 grams. This is pretty easy for chocolate. Well, before melting, the chocolate went up to 30 grams. After melting, it was at 30 grams. And after cooling, it was also at 30 grams. So I need to be able to graph those. You'll notice I left all of those over here for you. And then finally, you need to type your answers. Please see that word right there. Type your answers for these questions. What do you think happened? And also, I need you to make sure that your hypotheses were right. Will each substance remain the same? Will they be different? Will each substance gain something or lose something when they are melted? These are things that you needed to do beforehand. These are the first things you do. And then make sure that you check back afterwards and talk about it after your lab. So that's it for this lab this week. I know it's a lot of steps, so take your time, but please involve a parent or another adult in this process. I don't want anybody to get hurt. If you have any questions, as always, you can email me at adalby@aisj.edu.sa. See you soon.